Welcome to the deep dive. We got a message from one of you asking about efficient learning, finding those little insights in unexpected places.
Exactly. And so today, we're looking at something maybe a bit unusual. Personal notes from someone experimenting with chili seed germination.
Right, gardening notes. So, what's the mission here? We're not suddenly becoming gardening experts, are we?
Ha. No, not quite. It's more about using these excerpts, these little details of someone trying different methods to see what we can pull out about, experimentation itself, problem solving.
Okay, I get it. Learning from a small scale project. So, where do we start? What did the notes say?
Well, they mentioned trying a few common ways to get seeds started sowing directly in pots, soaking them overnight.
And the classic damp paper towel method, right?
That's the one they focused on.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the first interesting bit. They noted a really low germination rate with the paper towel, like only 5%.
Wow, okay. That's not great. Did they know why?
They suspected the seeds were just old, which happens. But it immediately highlights a practical challenge. Even a simple standard method isn't always foolproof.
Yeah, definitely. So, faced with that low rate, what did they do? Give up on the paper towels?
Nope. This is where the adaptation comes in. They actually took two different approaches for the few seeds that did manage to sprout using the paper towel.
Ah, okay. What were they?
Well, first, some of the sprouted seeds were carefully transplanted into individual pots, kept under indirect light. Pretty standard procedure.
Right. Give each little seedling its own space. Makes sense. And the second approach?
This is the more novel one, I think. They took the entire damp paper towel, with a few sprouted seeds still kind of clinging to it,
Yeah.
and planted the whole thing directly between layers of coco coir in some recycled plastic containers.
Wait, planted the paper towel itself?
Yeah. They mentioned it was partly for convenience. The folded towel apparently fit perfectly in the container.
Huh. That's pretty clever, actually. So the idea was that the seedlings would just grow through the paper.
Exactly. It kind of neatly sidesteps that tricky, fiddly process of handling tiny, super delicate seedlings and roots during transplanting.
I can see that. Reduces the risk of damaging them. It's an inventive solution.
It really is. And what adds another layer is the reason they were doing all this chili germination stuff in the first place.
Oh, it wasn't just to grow chilies.
Apparently
That's
not. They mentioned they don't usually grow them too high maintenance for them, perhaps. These were affordable seeds they were specifically using just to practice germination techniques.
Ah, okay. So the whole thing was framed as a learning exercise from the start. Low stakes, just messing around to figure things out.
Precisely. It wasn't about a big harvest. It was about the process.
Hmm.
And that context makes the experimentation even more interesting, doesn't it?
It does. It shows the cycle, like you said earlier.
Right.
They observed something, the low germination.
Right. Then they experimented, tried different transplanting methods. They informally analyzed, thinking maybe the seeds were old.
And then they adapted, coming up with that paper towel planting technique. It's a mini model for learning anything, really.
Absolutely. That cycle, observe, try something, see what happens, adjust, that's fundamental. And the ingenuity with the paper towel, turning that potential transplanting hassle into a streamlined step, that speaks volumes about efficient problem solving.
Yeah, it's not just about following instructions. It's about looking at the situation and thinking, okay, how can I make this work better or easier?
And connecting back to you, our listener who asked about efficient learning, this little gardening story shows it in action.
Hmm.
The author gained practical knowledge because they were actively experimenting and paying attention to the results, even the unexpected ones.
It's learning by doing and then refining based on what you actually see happening, not just theory.
hmm So the big takeaway really is that even in quite mundane activities, if you observe carefully and you're willing to try things out, you can find surprising efficiencies and gain a much deeper understanding.
These notes are a great little illustration of that practical, hands-on approach to figuring things out.
Definitely. Which leads us to a final thought for you to maybe mull over.
Mm-hmm.
Think about a task or maybe a challenge you're currently facing.
Yeah.
Could you design a small, controlled experiment around it? Something simple, just to gain a bit more understanding or maybe stumble upon a more efficient way to tackle it, even if the first results aren't quite what you expected.